Hey guys, what's up? It's Kulprit, and welcome to my first episode of Trial by Fire, the show where you supply me with the loadout, I play with it for a week, and I report back to you with my opinions on it, telling you what I would improve, take away, if and when I would use it, and my overall general feelings on the complete loadout. Today we're going to talk about a kit we're calling Sneaky Support. It was suggested to me by Impious Veer, and it consists of the AS Val with red dot, extended mags, the Silence M1911, ammo crate, and C4. First, let's talk about the strengths of this loadout. With the AS Val as your primary weapon, you're going to want to really take advantage of that built-in suppressor that'll keep you off the minimap and keep your enemies guessing. One really good thing I found out about this loadout was the ability to get myself into very good position and hold that position, because the enemy never got a fixed location on me. They weren't able to engage me and wipe me out. Now, if you're like me, you might have thought the pairing of the AS Val with the support class was a little strange, but the more and more I played with it, I started to understand just how powerful a pairing it could be. With the AS Val's high rate of fire, 900 RPMs, you really need the ability to get your ammo back whenever you need it. You cannot depend on your team because you will be using up a lot of bullets. Pairing that with the ability to always have your grenades and always replenish your C4, it really was a dynamic pairing. Now let's talk about some of the things I particularly didn't like about this loadout. With the AS Val, my biggest complaint is the magazine capacity. Even with extended mags, you're only getting up to 31 rounds, which really isn't enough when you're running into multiple enemies. With a stealthy, flanky type of loadout, you're gonna run into multiple enemies, and if they're not looking away from you, you can find yourself in a great deal of trouble. I also had an issue with the reload time. Now, although the partial magazine reload time is very good, the empty magazine time tends to be quite long. And with this weapon, with that high rate of fire, if you run into multiple targets, you're gonna run this thing dry. My second issue I had with this gun was longer range engagements. The AS Val is fully capable of handling those engagements, but you need to know how to operate this gun. You need to be feather tapping the trigger, really short, tiny bursts in order to take down any kind of an enemy, medium range or longer. It's fully possible once you get used to the gun, but this limits the ability for you to just jump in and out of this weapon in the middle of a match. And lastly for me, now this might just be me, I didn't find much use in this role for the C4. I just didn't think of it. I don't use C4 a lot, and it largely went unused, and if I did try to use it, I found myself forcing the issue. Perhaps the longer I played with this weapon, the more I would think to use it, especially in objective game modes. Now let's talk about how I would use this loadout. The obvious uses for me are both as a solo player, playing by yourself without a squad, and as a rusher, flanker, kind of going for that back rage type role. Both of those suit each other very nicely. Typically when I play by myself and I don't play with a squad, that's the role I take on. Trying to get that flank, trying to get around, trying to kind of loosen up the enemy, thin them out, and get that ultimate back rage we all love to get. If you're a member of a squad with the support class balanced in there with the AS Val, you're okay. You would still be an asset to your squad. I don't think anybody would complain about you being there. But I just see a more viable loadout that would be more helpful to the rest of the squad than this one. Now, I'd be remiss if I didn't mention the fact that I did take a great deal of personal joy using this loadout. When you get up against the guys with M16, 416s, AEKs, and you take them out, it is incredibly personally gratifying because you know that they're looking at your screen and saying, AS Val? Really? He got me with that? Especially when you start to take out multiple guys and really kind of clear a room or take on a full engagement and you come out alive and they don't. It's really kind of rewarding to know that, yeah, you guys have me outgunned, but I won. Now, as we wrap up this episode, I wanted to show you a clip that I feel fully illustrates the best situation to be using this loadout. Because of the silencer on your primary, as well as the silent secondary, you're going to remain off the mini-map at all times. You have to use this to your best advantage. Continue to be moving, change locations, change routes, whatever it may be. However the enemy thinks you're going to act, you have to make sure you do not act that way. As you see, I set up here in the corner. This is something I typically do on this map, especially in TDM. And I just continue to work this corner here. It gives me good cover. I can always duck back. I push my luck a little bit there. Basically what I was doing here is I was trying to test this weapon at medium and long range. These guys were polite enough to continue to run down that wide open alley for me. Here I check my 6 a little bit just to make sure I'm not going to get somebody I just killed coming to get me. And now my eyes light up. I have multiple targets. I'm outnumbered. I'm outgunned. These are all AEK M16 specialists. And you can see, I peek from a different angle. He fully does not expect me. I'm not on the minimap. They don't know exactly where I'm at. I fail right there. I completely fail. Again, I'm still getting situated with a weapon. But because I peek around here again, you saw he's looking at the other corner expecting me to be there. Continue to keep the initiative. Keep the surprise. Remain off the minimap. Don't peek where they expect you to, and you'll be just fine. And you'll be able to use this weapon to all its glory. It's very good up close, especially if you notice, I don't have the extended mags in this clip. But when you do, you're much more capable to take out multiple guys up close. I knew I couldn't take out those initial 3 or 4 guys by myself in one big gunfight. So I had to prolong it. I had to string it out. I had to kind of use my wits a little bit more than my firepower. I was clearly outnumbered. I was outgunned. I just had a better position, and I used it. Here you see me. I'm struggling a little bit with the longer distance. I decided to jump out of there. I was getting a little too hot. I just changed my location a little bit. They have no idea I'm right here. And as you see, I get a pretty easy kill. They're coming for me. They know I'm in here somewhere. They don't know where. And I'm able to get this guy very easily, who's hard scoping the corner of that trailer. And I just am able to clean up with him here. And then end it. You see I get a nice little medium length takedown. So this gun is fully capable if you use it to its strengths. So there you go, guys. There's my impression on the sneaky support loadout. I gotta say, I enjoyed playing this one. I always love playing support. I feel like I can help my team so much by giving them ammo whenever they need it, which everybody always needs ammo. It's a good way to get a ton of points, too. I enjoyed the AS Val. It's not a weapon I had played very much. As you can see through some of the clips, I was still learning, obviously. I'm not a pro with this weapon at all. It definitely has a large learning curve. You have to learn how to shoot medium to long range. You really have to tap fire it very much. If you mag dump, it's just not going to work. Yet, up close, you almost have to mag dump because it's not as powerful a weapon. It doesn't feel like it has that stopping power. It could just be the silencer on the gun makes it feel a little less oomph. But I had really good results for it. I mean, every match I played, I was well over a 2 KD. And so, I mean, that obviously helps with the enjoyment. You just have to learn how to play this role. You have to learn how to play this loadout. If you do that, you can be very, very successful. And you can get a lot of really good moments. I had a lot of fun with it. My biggest gripe, I think, is that unless this gun and this loadout is going to be your primary, let's say you're going to use the AS Val for every kit, I just don't see it being in your arsenal because it's not one you can just pick up after not playing with it for a week and dominate with it. You have to kind of reacclimate yourself to it. You have to get the feel of it down. It's very much a feel weapon, so that can be a little difficult. It is not noob friendly. It is not a gun you can just pick up off the ground when you're changing kit and do fine, a la the M16 and the M416. Nothing wrong with those weapons, but those are much easier to use weapons than the AS Val. But if you enjoy the AS Val and it is pretty much your primary weapon, you surely can hang with just about anybody on the battlefield. Thanks a lot, guys. I appreciate you guys watching. Remember, if you have a loadout you think needs a little more love or a gun setup that you think not getting the respect it should, post in the comments. I'll take a look at it. And you never know. Your loadout could be in next week's episode. Thanks a lot, guys. Talk to you soon. Take care. Just a reminder, guys, don't miss any of my content. Clicking the big screen in the middle, that's going to take you to the Battlefield 3 playlist where you'll find a lot of videos similar to the one you just watched. The video to the lower left-hand side, that's my Let's Play channel. Over there I post all kinds of Let's Plays and walkthroughs, Minecraft, Far Cry, Assassin's Creed, all kinds of different games that don't fit into the first-person shooter genre. And to the lower right, make sure you do not miss the Company 008 community channel. You're going to find a lot of directors over there that post similar content to mine, so if you like my stuff, you're probably going to like theirs too. Thanks a lot, guys. Have a nice day.